Today's video is all about the absolute best that Salt Lake City has to offer. And yes, I'm going to talk to you about where to eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front, but I want to go even deeper into the details and talk about what truly makes this area so special. For myself and for a lot of other people out there, it's absolutely one of the best places to live, to recreate, and to just enjoy life. So whether you're thinking of moving here, you've just relocated here, or you're a longtime local like myself, kick back, relax, and enjoy because we're getting into it right now. Now, we get asked daily from people moving here or just visiting the area, hey, what should I go and do? What areas should I see? And what are the best neighborhoods to look at, as well as the best places to eat? Now, I typically have my own personal answers to these questions that get asked, and I started making a list that I'm going to share with you here today, but I'm sure there's some things that I've missed here on this list. So if you have items, if you have things you want to contribute, please drop it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you about what I missed in each of these different categories. In this video, we're talking about the best coffee shops, the best food places, the best entertainment, the best spot for live concerts, the best neighborhoods to live in, and of course, the best areas for entertainment and recreation. Of course, recreation is a huge thing here in Salt Lake, so we're going to cover that a little bit further on in the video. Make sure to stick around for that. But to start off this video, just like I start my day, I like to start with a little bit of caffeine. I'm actually going to talk about the best coffee shops around town. Now, these are just a few of the probably dozens or hundreds of shops that are around town, and I'm sure there's a lot of really good ones, but the ones that make the top of my list are going to be number one, Black Rifle Coffee. I really like the coffee that they have. I like the mission that they've got to hire over 10,000 veterans in the coming years, and I just like the growth and the atmosphere that this business provides. There's a couple of locations, one in Salt Lake, one in Orem, and one in Heber City, and you can also get their coffee online. Next up is actually owned by a friend of mine, but it's a really good coffee shop. I wouldn't just be saying this just because it's his, but it's actually called The Bean Yard. It's in Sandy, Utah. It is a fantastic spot. They actually do small batch roasting there in the store and serve that coffee. In fact, some of the cold brew that I've had there is the best that I've ever had. I don't know what they do, but they've got a way of making it that just makes it extra special. The last place that I like to visit from time to time is going to be Dutch Bros. Now, if you're from the West Coast, you're probably familiar with Dutch Bros. If you're from the East Coast, you probably have no idea what that is. It's basically just a competitor to Dunkin' Donuts or to Starbucks or any of these other big, large corporations, but they provide a pretty good coffee. I like to get their stuff half sweet just because it does come out really, really sugary, but another great option for quick coffee on the go. Now, next up, let's talk about the best food in the area. Again, dozens or hundreds of restaurants across town, and a lot of them are going to have some really good options. The ones I want to talk about here today are some personal favorites of mine. Now, the top 5 that are going to make the list here for me today are in no particular order, but I want to start off with the Porcupine Pub and Grill. This is actually one of the most popular restaurants right at the base of Big Cottonwood Canyon, which is the canyon where you have Brighton and Solitude ski resorts. This is a fantastic area. It's always a busy, packed place. In fact, the chicken noodle soup that they have there is one of my wife's favorite dishes to get, and they've got tons of other great options. Definitely one that makes the top 5 here. Next up, I want to talk about Carmine's, or if you prefer the Italian pronunciation, Carmine's. This is an Italian restaurant that's in Cottonwood Heights, actually just down the street from Porcupine Grill. I just went there a couple days ago. Their carbonara is absolutely amazing. One of the best dishes I've ever had. Yes, it's very heavy. You're going to go to sleep right after, but if you're looking for some wine, some Italian food, absolutely one of the best places. I definitely recommend going there. Third up on our list is going to be the Dodo. Now, this is actually in Sugar House. They are more kind of like a bistro type place. They serve sandwiches, they have soups, salads, things like that. But again, very awesome food in a great location with a really good vibe. Now, we've covered 3 options on our list here. Number 4, I'm actually going to group in 2 different restaurants because they're right next to each other. If you're looking for something a little bit closer to downtown, I'd recommend looking at Whiskey Street as well as Whitehorse. They have some phenomenal options for food as well as for alcoholic beverages. One of my favorite things to get at Whitehorse is actually their egg and chip. What they do is they take potato chips, they put them in a brown paper bag, and they actually crack an egg inside of the bag. They add malt vinegar and truffle powder and then shake it up. It's kind of a weird concoction. When I first heard about this, I was like, I don't know, that sounds kind of weird. Egg on chips, I don't know about that. but I tried it and it's actually really, really good. Last up on our list is going to be Locals Bistro. This is again another bistro in Sandy, Utah. One of my favorite spots to go. It's actually kind of under the radar. It's a pretty popular, busy place for a lot of locals who live around the area because it's one of the only restaurants of its kind in that particular spot. I actually really like what they've got there. It's a little bit higher end and really has a nice feel to it. Now let's move on to best entertainment here in the area. If you're looking to catch a play, you've got a couple of options. You can go see a play or a musical at Hale Center Theater or Eccles Theater. These two options definitely make the top of the list here. I would also, if you're in the downtown area, recommend checking out the Natural History Museum of Utah. I've traveled to a lot of places, seen a lot of museums, and to be honest, the one that we have here, the Natural History Museum, is actually one of the best museums that I've ever been to. I know that there's a lot going on that statement, but it's a special spot because it's located right here in Salt Lake City, and the quality of the exhibits they have there is extremely high. The last place I'd recommend for entertainment if you're here on a quick trip or if you've just relocated here or coming here in the future is the Utah Olympic Park. In 2002, we had the Olympics here. They're actually coming back. I think it's 2034, which is pretty exciting. But in 2002, they built the Utah Olympic Park where you can go and experience what it was like during that time. They've got a small museum there. They've got merchandise, and you can even have the chance to do some zip lining, or if you're up for it, you can also do some bobsledding on the actual bobsled track. Now, leading on from entertainment, those are things that you can do pretty much year round whenever you want. The next thing I want to talk about are going to be annual events that we have here in Salt Lake. There's a couple of really unique ones that you're not going to find anywhere else. Now, first up on our list is going to be the Utah Arts Festival. This is a 4-day event generally held in June where they have live music, they've got art, they've got a small farmer's market, and just a ton of little booths. It's a great thing to go and experience. It's something that I've gone to, not so much in recent years, but as a kid or in my younger years, I used to go every single year. I had some family that participated in it, and it was a really cool experience. So definitely check that out during the month of June. Next up on our list is another massive event that's hosted in July. We've got the Days of 47 Parade and Rodeo. This is considered Pioneer Day on the 24th of July. It's basically like a second 4th of July here for the state. So across the entire month of July, you're gonna have parties, you're gonna have fireworks, you're gonna have pool parties, you're gonna have all this stuff going on, and the Days of 47 is no different. Of course, they have a massive parade around town. In fact, almost every single city has their own little version of this parade. So that's a big part of it. You're gonna have fireworks, and you're also going to have the rodeo, which is another significant part of this experience. Now, the third thing I want to talk about here is going to move us later into the year. We're talking about August and September now. I recommend going up and enjoying Oktoberfest at Snowbird. This is an event that I've attended almost every single year for about the last 10 years. It's an absolutely amazing time to get up there, enjoy some German food and beer, see the shops, hear some live music, and really just take in the scenery during this early part of fall. Make sure to arrive early because the parking does get pretty packed, and you can have free parking options as well as paid parking options during this time. Really quick, I want to touch on a few theme parks here in Utah. Now, Utah is not really known for theme parks, but we do have a couple honorable mentions here on this list. Number one is going to be Lagoon. Of course, you have to talk about Lagoon. This is basically a smaller Six Flags. A lot of kids, a lot of locals here have grown up going to Lagoon at least once, twice, 3 times a year. In fact, a lot of people who live close to there get season passes and go almost every single day. So definitely a great option. Number two is going to be Laguna Beach, actually at Lagoon, but it's a huge water park inside of the Lagoon complex. And again, it's everything you would imagine in a water park, and absolutely a great time, especially for not only adults, but for kids especially. It's a great place to go and enjoy. Third on our list is going to be Cowabunga Bay, another great option to explore here in the area. If you're looking for a water park that's outside of Lagoon, a little bit further south, this one's in Draper. I'd recommend going and checking out Cowabunga Bay during the warmer summer months. All right, guys, before we move on further in our list here, as a reminder, if you're looking to relocate here, you just moved here, or you're a longtime local and you're looking to buy, sell, or invest real estate here in Utah, please reach out to me. My team and I have had thousands of people reach out over the last couple of years from videos just like this, and we'd love to hear from you as well. Please call me, text me, email me. My information will be here on the screen. I love hearing from you guys, so please reach out and let's chat about the type of lifestyle that you're looking for here and how we can make that a reality based on the type of home you're going to buy or sell. With that said, let's continue on. Next up, we're going to continue down that list of kind of talking about some of the entertainment. We're going to talk about best areas for live concerts. Now, the Delta Center, which is right downtown, is a very popular space. A lot of the bigger names that you hear, a lot of the big name musicians are going to play the Delta Center. Now, number 2 on the list is going to be USANA Amphitheater. Now, they actually just changed the name. I think it's America First Amphitheater or something like that. I actually don't even know, but everybody knows it as USANA Amphitheater. It was named that for many, many, many years. That's what everybody calls it despite the name change. But this is another outdoor open air venue that's great for a lot of those bigger musicians and a lot of those bigger bands. You do have some smaller bands that play there as well, but based on the seating and the environment there, a lot of those bigger musicians will play. For the smaller stuff, you've got other options like Saltaire and tons of other smaller indoor venues across the county. Now we've talked about some of the entertainment. Let's talk about some of the things that are going to bring a lot of you people here who don't already live here to the state. That's going to be hiking, getting outdoors, recreating, skiing, talking about all of these different things. The outdoors is where it's at when it comes to Salt Lake City. So let's talk about some of the best parks, trails, and areas that you can get outdoors. Number 1 on our list is going to be the Jordan River Trail. This is a trail that stretches almost 45 miles throughout Salt Lake Valley. It goes through numerous different cities, and it's a continuous trail that you can walk on, you can ride your bike, and just take in the amazing scenery. Whether you're looking to the west, you're looking to the east, you get amazing views all the way around. So it's a great place to just go for a stroll and get out and get some fresh air. After experiencing that, you might be looking to get up into the canyons where it's a little bit cooler, especially in the summer months. Talking about some of the best hiking trails here in the area, we've got a list that we put together for you here. So let me just read off a bunch of different names. You can write these down, do some research, and see which one is the best option for you. Number 1 on our list, you've got the Bell Canyon Trail. There's actually 2 parts of this. A lot of people just hike up to the reservoir, but you can actually go beyond that if you want a longer hike to get to the waterfall. I think to the reservoir, it's about 4.5 miles. I think that's round trip. The waterfall is another couple extra miles beyond that. So that's number 1. Continuing on with number 2 and the rest of the trails on the list here, you've got Secret Lake Trail, Solitude Trail, Lake Blanche Trail, the Living Room Trail, Twin Peaks, Albion Basin, Provo Canyon, Stewart Falls Trail, Grander Park Trail, and Little Water Trail. So there's a ton of options out there. These are all smaller, relatively easier hikes. Of course, you do have a couple of bigger hikes if you're looking for something a little bit more extreme. You can hike up Mount Timpanogos. This is in Utah County. You can hike up Mount Olympus, which is a difficult hike. Definitely start early if you're going in the hotter months because it's a grueling hike. It'll probably take you, depending on your fitness level, probably somewhere between 6 to 8 hours to complete that hike up and back. And then if you're really looking for the massive hike to experience here in Utah, I recommend Kings Peak. This is a hike that I've done once. It's actually mostly a 3-day hike. You basically hike in, camp, you go up to the summit the next day, come back down, and then the 3rd day you hike out. So it's a very awesome trail. Kings Peak is actually the highest mountain range or the highest mountain peak in Utah. Next up, let's talk about the best sports here in the area. Sports is something we have to talk about. Now, I'm actually not a huge sports guy. I like golf, I like hockey a little bit, and I like to go-kart racing actually. So those are the things that I'm interested in, but sports is something we definitely have to talk about because there's been some massive changes in just the last couple of months. The thing that everybody's talking about right now is the Utah Hockey Club. Now that's the official name of it at the moment. It's a professional hockey team from Arizona that just relocated here. They haven't given it an official name. Some of the top 3 names on the list are actually Salt Lake Steel, the Salt Lake Outlaws, or alternatively the Salt Lake Grizzlies, which would actually be a name takeover from the minor league team. We actually already have a minor league team here named the Grizzlies, so I think they would kind of move that team to the professional team and then rename the minor league team. I actually think that's the best idea. The Steel, the Outlaws, I don't know about that. That seems a little bit cheesy. I don't think those are great options for what represents Utah, but the Grizzlies, it's our state animal, and I think it's a great option. It kind of sounds cool. I don't know. I think it's a good option personally. But the Utah Hockey Club, definitely a massive investment and a thing that a lot of people are really excited about. Beyond that, we've got the Utah Jazz, go Jazz. We've also got Real Salt Lake, and we've got the Salt Lake Bees. We've got a couple of other options. The Salt Lake Bees are going to be a minor league team, but Real Salt Lake, they play in the MLS. We've got the Jazz, which obviously plays in the NBA. NBA, and we've got a ton of great options. Unfortunately, we don't have a professional baseball team or a professional football team. Those may come later on down the road. I think the football team is probably the last one that's going to come, just from everything I've been hearing, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually turns out. I think it could be huge for the state because people do love their football here. Next up, we're going to talk about some shopping places. Now, whether you're looking to move here or you already live here and you're looking to buy or sell real estate, please reach out to me. Again, my information is here on the screen. Talking about shopping, we've got a few options to talk about. You've got City Creek, which is right downtown. This is a great place to really go and enjoy. Even if you're not doing any shopping, it's a great place to go and have lunch and just walk around. It's kind of an indoor-outdoor type feel, and it has a really cool vibe to it, in my opinion. Alternatively, if you're looking for something a little bit on the cheaper end, you can go down to the outlets at Traverse Mountain. Here, you're going to find every single outlet store you want, every single food restaurant that you want. You're going to find tons of options at the outlets. And then alternatively, again, going back to the more expensive side, if you're looking for really high-end shopping, go to Park City. Go to Park City Main Street. You're going to have tons of cute little boutique shops right on Main Street. Yes, everything is going to be expensive, but it's a great place to go shopping if you're looking for something unique. With that said, guys, we talked about a lot here. I'd love to hear what I missed on this list here. Comment down below, reach out to me if I can help you in any way, and we'll catch you in the next one.